This is the Bratz Boys Club, and I am Jesse. And today I have a little surprise for you. It's not such much a surprise, but it's more of like a little purchase that I was trying to acquire throughout the entire year of 2023, because it involves a specific babelicious, sexy, studly Bratz boy that is a part of a very exclusive and amazing lined and or collection or series that was sort of pretty popular back in the early 2000s. They were pretty much all amazing. I love them all because they're Bratz boys and they're sexy, stuffy, and I love them all. But this specific collection or series was very sought after, mainly of course the girls, but the boys especially now as well. And I had read blogs and been online for a good part of this early year of 2023, trying to find out if there was going to be any more reproductions, or re-releases of the Bratz boys after, of course, Cameron and or Dylan, and of course there was Kobe. Of course, there was rumor there was going to be another Bratz boy on his way, and of course it was somebody that I was already a fan of, and it was a specific line their collection or series that I was a super fan of. So I was really, really excited. So without further ado, here he is. And he is so gorgeous and super studly and Mr. Hottie 2023 Pretty and Punk. Absolutely. Like you guys heard it. He is Eitan from the 2023 re-release reproduction of Pretty and Punk. However, unfortunately, and this breaks my heart in a trillion pieces, we will only be seeing Mr. Sexy Studly Eitan from the Pretty and Punk series and collection, and then the others are going to be the Bratz. Of course, they definitely added a fifth one for the girls, so there's going to be 5 girls and only 1 boy, definitely, because nobody cares about boys, right? So no, there's no Cameron and there is no Dylan, unfortunately, for us who are the major fans of the boys, the Bratz boys. But that's okay, because if you're a Bratz boy fan like I am, you already have your vintage and collectible Dylans and Camerons from the 2005 main original line and or collection of the Pretty and Punk boys. So I actually have 3 sets of those. Thanks to my perseverance of last year trying to acquire them, I was able to get my hands on at least 3 sets of each. And but on to my 2023 Pretty and Punk Eitan. And there are a few differences in Mr. Sexy Studly Pretty and Punk Eitan as opposed to the original 2005 Pretty and Punk Eitan that I'll be sort of mentioning. I don't really know all of them, but I'll try to pinpoint most of the ones I saw, which involve both the box and his accessories. However, what I really love is the fact that MGA since they wanted to do it retro and they wanted to go back in time, they did it almost the right way. And they went back in time, as in the box looks amazing and epic, like they used to be in the good old days. Thank God. It's not 100%, but it's okay. It's a good try. So I'm loving it. Even though, like I said, it's not exactly what it used to be, still 100%. So, the boxes are amazing. Once again, the design and the art for this specific line under collection or series is just the best try they could ever had done. It has that little chain, it has the little plastic design of the flag, like the original box, and the art looks very, very similar to the original 2000 Pretty and Punk box, with, of course, his sexy, studly photo right there of Mr. Sexy Studly Eitan. Like I said, there are some differences. I'm glad that the handle is still the same right there, right there. Black and leather. I think it's made of leather or something, like fake leather or plastic with a little metal star. So I'm really happy that some of this is still the same. There are some differences, like I mentioned. Like for starters, the background of the box, it kind of is a little different to what the older box used to have. The colors are still the same, like they represent a flag, but it looks like this one is looks more solidified than the other design. The other one looked kind of faded and pretty cool and awesome. This one is more generic. You can actually see the flagged in detail a little bit, like the colors and lines, and it looks very flag-like. And also, in the back of the box, I believe it used to be a little bit different because it used to show Mr. Cameron, Dylan, and Eitan in the photo down there, as opposed to now you get Mr. Eitan with his name, a little bit of an introduction, and of course the Bratz Boyz logo, and the name for the punks. But you get a photo at the bottom with Mr. Eitan and some of the girls. Oh yeah, and of course, I believe Sasha is her name. She's the new addition to the Pretty and Punk line, so she was able to get in, but Cameron and Dylan were not, I guess. So that's another one of the changes for the box, and I believe that some of the boxes back in the early 2000s from this collection, they were sort of like, they had a little kind of like a little booklet, like a little kind of like a little paper booklet attached to the bracelet chain thingy that the boxes had. This one does not. So that's another difference that you're going to see in this box versus the older box. That doesn't really take away from how amazing it looks. It looks really retro. It looks just like very similar to the old one. And I'm really happy that, you know, it looks that similar to it. So now that we've explained a little bit about like how different the box is, there are some differences with the accessories inside the box. I believe that in the beginning I thought that these came with an extra set of footwear or boots or shoes or sneakers for these guys, but they don't. I checked the original 2005 Pretty and Punk Eitan, and he doesn't have a second set of boots and or shoes, sneakers, or whatever, any footwear. They only have the one that they're wearing. They both do have accessories, like an extra pair of clothing that they have. But I believe that with the clothing pieces, the other Eitan, the 2005 vintage collectible one, may have a piece, an extra piece that this one may not have. So that could be another difference that the other 2005 Eitan may have that I noticed. Also, I believe that this one may not have a poster. I don't think this one has a poster in there. I could be wrong, but I don't see a poster in there. Because usually the posters are at the bottom, and they're in like a plastic bag, and they look like, you know, they're like a piece of folded paper in a plastic bag at the bottom of the box. This one doesn't really look like there's something down there. I think I kind of looked at the 2005, and that may have a poster, or it might not. I don't know. I'm going to have to check. So that's another difference that this one does not have. And I think I actually looked at like the other repros or re-releases, and they don't have posters either, but I could be wrong about that as well. And of course, the very most notable thing that this one has, that this one does not have, that the original 2005 does have, and I believe even for the girls, they don't have any pets. So the guys, Cameron, Dylan, and Eitan, used to have a pet cat. The girls had a pet dog. So sort of like, I think I read online at the beginning of this year that the company was trying to decide what to add in the box as an accessory as accessories for them, and they decided to go against adding a pet and instead keeping the suitcase. So you get a suitcase, which you actually got in the original 2005 for the Bratz Boys and for the Bratz Girls for this collection in our series. So you get the suitcase, but you don't get the pet because they didn't want to have the extra expense. But they were trying to decide what to give, either the pet or the suitcase. So the suitcase is there. There is no pet. I forget what the pet, what his cat's name was, his pet cat. So I really can't remember. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna look back into that. But for this re-release, this reproduction of him, there is no pet, and there is no pet for the girls either. So that's another thing that you're going to have to do without for him. Everything else looks like it's very similar. He's not really that different. He still looks incredible. He still looks amazing. The box is almost identical. Like I said, there are a few cosmetic differences, mainly in the back, and of course in behind in the background for the flag, and that's pretty much it. But everything is pretty much the same. He looks amazing. I specifically love that they went and they did the same thing for the handle, like it's identical. It looks like it's a black leathery plastic kind of handle with little metal stars. That looks pretty epic and pretty amazing. I just totally love it. I just love the fact that he looks almost very similar to the original 2005 Pretty in Punk item. It really broke my heart though. Like I kind of said earlier, the fact that Cameron and Dylan are not going to be part of this gang anymore, and they're not going to show up because they were really awesome and hottie and studly. Specifically in this series and their collection to begin with, they were just amazing, so totally unique. But I guess that, of course, they had to add the extra girl, but not the two guys that used to be part of it. It would have been so awesome if they would have brought back Cameron and Dylan, and then add maybe Kate or Kobe. It would have been just amazing, but I guess not. So anyway, pretty much everything is the same. The box is amazing, like I said before. The accessories, pretty much like back in time, retro. Awesome extra accessories with a couple of pieces maybe missing. Of course, the one that never misses is the comb. It's always there. In this case, it's black. You can see it right there. It's, of course, purchased at retail, so it's not floating in the box yet. It will be. Eventually, these guys always do. But mostly, almost everything is there. His style is still the same. It's still pretty awesome, pretty, like, epic, pretty, like, different, which is one of the things that kind of, like, stood out for me, and I loved it. So the art is almost the same. It's just gorgeous. The plastic in the box and the cardboard is just impeccable. I'm going to show you both sides. On the sides of him, because he looks just stunning, and the box looks just excellent. It just looks, oh my god, it brings back the good years of MGA with the Bratz and the Bratz Boys. I just don't get tired of saying just how great some of these, repros are, re-releases. They are incredible. This one actually should have the retail year at the bottom of the box. I don't remember if the original vintage collectibles from 2005 have it. I'm gonna have to take a look and see, just to make sure. But let me do just this one more time, and I'll show you the top of the box and then the bottom. Let's see. Hopefully in that order. Let me do. Actually, no. Let me show you the bottom of the box first, and then the top. Let's see. So here we go, and this is the bottom of the box. I'm going to do it very slowly, so there's a retail here, you can see it, hopefully. Now, I do have to complain a little about the handling of this box with the website, the seller website that I purchased him from on, because they do really horrible shipping. I'm sorry, but they do. I'm not going to say the name of the seller's website, but I will say that their name starts with an A, so I'm pretty sure you know who I'm talking about. It was pretty disgraceful and pretty distasteful and awful that you have to have one of these boxes packaged with no, like, bubble wrap. And then on top of that, add insult to injury, they dropped in one or two items that I ordered extra, other things, in the same box with them. So that is really awful. So this seller's website really is really horrible at sending your items, especially some delicate items like this one. It's just really, really awful. But other than that, I received him, and I was so happy because it was actually ahead of time. I was due to receive him at the end of August, but Fortunately for me, I was notified, I was sent a message from the seller's website that I was going to receive him way earlier than anticipated. I was going to be waiting for him within the first few days of August, and shipping was going to take place pretty soon between the first few days of August. I was so excited and thrilled because I could not believe that I was going to be able to add him to my ever-growing collection of Bratz Boys sooner than I thought I was going to. I was still okay with receiving him at the end of August, but I was kind of like a little upset because I was thinking, well, why would it take so long for him to ship, to be sent over if it's going to not be that far away, I guess. But anyway, so that was the bottom of the box, the top of the, sorry, that was the top of the box, and then I showed you the bottom of the box. And so pretty much almost everything is very similar. I believe that I have two different Eitans from the Pretty in Punk line in our collection, in our series, that have either a golden shield, and I believe I have one that has a white squared sticker. I don't know what the difference is between those, or what that means. I just know that I have one of the squared white sticker ones and two of the golden shield. So those are the ones I have, and this one has a golden shield just like the other two. So it's just marvelous. It looks amazing. I just cannot believe that he looks so perfect and great, even though there are a few changes and differences, and I went through a little bit to get my hands on him. So now with him, I believe I have 4 repro or re-release boys, because I'm sure I've got Cameron, the 2021 Cameron or 2022 Cameron, reproduction, repro re-release for the original Cameron. And then I purchased the repro or re-release of Dylan for 2002. And then, of course, Kobe popped up in 2023, and he was Series 3, so he's another repro re-release that I also got. And then finally, Mr. Eitan from the Sexy, Studly, Babelicious, Pretty in Punk line in our series or collection that I was dying to get my hands on, even though I already have 3 sets of the Pretty in Punk boys. So that means I have them 3 times, and I'm so lucky and so happy to have those in my collection. But of course, I needed to add Mr. Sexy, Studly Eitan from the re-release, reproduction 2023 Pretty in Punk collection. So yes, everything is pretty much almost the same, almost very similar. Like I said before, these guys and this guy will be missing Mr. Pet Cat. He has no pet. The girls will be missing their pet dogs, but they all have in their place the suitcase because MGA wanted to cut costs. Either way, I'm happy. I'm not really that bitter. But I am so thrilled that I have him, and that I'm able to introduce you to him. And of course, I was able to add him to my ever-growing collection of Bratz Boys, because he is my baby and Sexalicious, Babelicious Eitan. So here he is in all of his glory for 2023, Mr. Pretty in Punk Eitan. And I think I mentioned this before, he doesn't have a poster. I don't think he has a poster. I haven't seen anything down here. Usually the poster looks like it's in a plastic wrapped bag or something. I don't know if the original vintage ones from 2005 have a poster. I'm going to have to look into that. But he doesn't have one, or he doesn't look like he has one. And like I mentioned before, he doesn't have an extra pair of sneakers, shoes, or boots. The original ones, the vintage collectibles from 2005, at least it doesn't seem like he has one. A second pair of that, but these guys do. This one does have the extra clothing, accessories, some of them. Because I think I saw maybe a shirt missing from this one as opposed to the original 2005. I'm sure that's not there, but I could be wrong. So some things are there, some things are not. I'm just really excited and really thrilled. And I totally love my guy. And of course, here's the back of the box, because I think I didn't show that enough either. You get the picture of the Bratz with Mr. Sexy Studly Eitan right there. And of course, back in the good old days of the early 2000s, in 2005, for Pretty in Punk, you would get a photograph down here with Cameron, Dylan, and Eitan instead, along with Mr. Eitan's sexy little picture and a photo, and his name and of course the Bratz Boyz logo and the punk's name. And a little bit of an introduction right here for the Pretty in Punk story for him. So that's the back of the box. But anyway, so this is Mr. 2023 Eitan for the Pretty in Punk series and or collection. And he'll be the only boy for this collection and or series because there will be no Cameron and or Dylan. Which shattered my heart. But it's okay because now you get to meet him and I get to introduce him to you. He finally arrived. And I can't wait to upload another video soon, either with another incredible Bratz Boy, sexy, studly Bratz Boy, or another one of my 2 Bratz Boy cruisers that I have not uploaded yet, that hopefully soon I will be able to upload. And either way, thank you for watching, if you watched, and if you didn't watch, thank you anyway. Hopefully you watch at some point someday, but hopefully soon I will upload another video, and we'll get to see another incredible, studly, awesome Bratz Boy. Either way, you have a great day. Thank you for watching, and we will see you then.